Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's album review. Today, we're going to be reviewing AJ Tracey. Someone you've heard of, Brett?
I'm sure I've heard of an AJ, and I'm sure I've heard of a Tracey, but not an AJ Tracey together.
Okay, so our regular contributor, Cop Loss, came ahead and has requested this. I won't share the screen, but I'll read what he says. He says that AJ Tracey's albums might be more your cup of tea. Same genre. This is, by the way, same genre as the what's it called? The UK trap. Is that what it was called with the album we listened to last time?
Oh,
Central C.
Central C.
Yeah, same genre, but a lot less samey. Uses elements from different genres too. So, what's your first thoughts on that, Brett? Before I share the screen and show you his Wikipedia page.
Right, so if I'm thinking really positively, I think to my good friend I enjoyed Tyler, the Creator, potentially, because he used also like a lot of different genres and stuff in his thing and sort of made it work. So that's me being really positive. But then on the other side, it could be, I can't think of a bad example, but somewhere it's just a bit like too much like Central C, but a worse version of me. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. So let's share the screen and we'll have a look at AJ Tracey, see what he's all about. So, Brett, you should be able to see that. He's from Ladbroke Grove, West London.
Okay.
And his album, which is here. Can you see the screen I've just turned over to, the AJ Tracey album?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 48-minute long album. The genre, according to Wikipedia, is British hip hop, garage, grime. And there's one song that's I've noticed here, song number 11, Ladbroke Grove. So I've heard of Giggs as well. I know I've obviously heard of Ryan Giggs, the ex-footballer, but I'm sure I've heard of Giggs as the kind of rapper as well. Don't know if you have. Rings a bell. So what's interesting here, there's a lot of tracks on here. I'll just move you to the other side. 15 tracks. We won't do the deluxe edition. We'll keep it to the standard one. But it's only 48 minutes long. So you can see the length of the tracks are pretty short, which I think was the same for Central C as well. Maybe this style of music just generally has quite relatively short songs. So, yeah. Don't know what to expect really. We've got an idea of what to expect as we've been told it is the same genre of Central C. So, but hoping it's going to be a little bit better, a bit more variety, as Kopflos mentions. So, you looking forward to it?
Yeah, listen, anything new, different, I said, there's always going to be surprises. I said, even for me, I said, at the end of game one, a song that sort of stands out it makes it worthwhile. I'm not expecting to enjoy absolutely everything, but it could be something to take from it there. And it'd be interesting if there are a bit like Central C, if there's sort of some local landmarks or things that sort of come up. So I think, like you probably did last time with Central C, is maybe get some of the lyrics up potentially and have a look for those nuggets maybe.
Yeah. So we had the 52 bus from Victoria to Willesden.
Yeah,
came up last time. We'll see if any buses come up this time, or any train stations, or I don't know. Yeah, maybe something about football players. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. So kind of looking forward to it from that sense, just to see if we can find any kind of London related geographical points. And again, we may not understand a lot of the lyrics like last time, but we'll have to learn. We'll have to learn the lingo. So we'll be back with you guys in a few seconds, having listened to the album, and we will let you know exactly what we thought of it. Okay, everyone, we've now listened to AJ Tracey, and I'll go first and tell you all what I thought of it. Okay, I got my notes in front of me. So I felt the album had quite a bit of variety, in the sense of there were some very rappy tracks. So probably not a real word, but rappy. I'm calling it. Heavy on the rap. But there were some other tracks that were kind of what, again, I'm calling more songy, like had a kind of more of a song to it. So that was pretty good. The fact it did have some variety to it. I thought it was okay to listen to in general, but not what I would want to listen to regularly. So it was, I suppose I could call it quite easy to listen to. It's not like, oh, I wish this would finish. I really hate this, or it's just getting on my nerves. It wasn't like that at all. It was very listenable. I was disappointed with the lyrics. I didn't hear many good lines because I had all the lyrics in front of me. I had them there for each song. So no kind of standout lines for me, or references to like places within London or other places in the UK. Again, like the previous album we did with this sort of genre of music, I didn't really understand it. It was a lot of kind of, I don't know, to me it seemed like sort of like meaningless lyrics. That's the way it sounds to me. I don't know, it's like just like rapping for the sake of it kind of thing, just kind of, I don't know, I can't really, don't get the sort of bigger picture of it. But as I was saying earlier, I don't think the album sort of got worse as it went on. Didn't get better either. It was just all right. It was all right to listen to, sound wise. But as I say, disappointed with the lyrics a little bit. So yeah, it was pretty average for me. Right?
Yeah. So really interested with this one. So on the face of it, I was going to put here that this is very much the same as Central C. That's a lot of similarities in Central C, Central C's album. However, I much preferred this one. And it's weird because, like I said, they're generally the same. But I think you said that it was quite an easy one to listen to. I felt all the tracks that they were similar, but they had variety to it. I feel so because obviously your main focus was obviously the rapping, which was clear and you could hear it, even though like you, half of it I didn't understand. However, in comparison to Central C, I felt like I could get the bigger picture with some of the songs more than Central C. Central C, I just didn't even know where to begin. This one, you kind of got an idea. Oh, he's talking about his money. He's talking about his fame. He's talking about a girl and such. While Central C, no idea at all, really. So the lyrics and the rapping was the main phrase very clear. The background music was good, was fine, had a good tempo for a lot of them, and it fit in well with it. It wasn't like it was overshadowing the rapping or the rapping was too much over the music and stuff. So I think it just worked in really well. And as you said there, I think you had a mixture of sort of your rap songs and then ones which I almost put could be like pop, like the chart hit type ones, even though it's still rap music, but you could imagine it in the charts. It just felt a better production. It just sounded like it was better than Central C, which I know I'm going to be comparing quite a lot to as well. What I also found really interesting in this album is that I found that I wanted to find out more information about certain things. And that'll probably be clear as we go through some of them, the lyrics. And as a result, I then found out, AJ Tracey, something I didn't know. So very quickly, on a bit of a side note. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen this clip before, Lee. I'll send it to you, but other people have seen it. So at Glastonbury, famous festival in England.
Is he the one that did Thiago Silva?
Yeah. So him and this artist Dave, who also I just know more recently, he's been in the Brits as well, done this song called Thiago Silva. And at Glastonbury, it wasn't AJ Tracey, it was Dave who was performing it, and he got someone out of the crowd.
Yeah,
this young kid called Alex, wearing typical English teen. You couldn't get more typical looking there, wearing this bucket hat, a Thiago Silva top, rapping. Yeah, so it's AJ Tracey's song With Dave is that Thiago Silva song.
Right.
And as a result from that, learned that AJ Tracey is a big football fan, he's a big Spurs fan. And even though we didn't probably get the lot of London references in here, there was quite a few football references I found from there. So I found it was quite relatable. And I said, as we went through certain songs, I felt like I wanted to know more things about it as we went along. So I almost got invested with this as well. So yeah, that's all my comprehensive intro starts to it there, really.
So Brett, your camera's gone off.
Oh, apologies all.
Right.
Anyway, sort of balancing on a box. I'm back.
So I was going to say as well, yeah, I do agree that this was definitely more kind of relatable, more understandable than the Central C one. I get the feeling, I might be wrong here because I haven't actually checked their ages, but it feels like Central C was younger than AJ Tracey.
Yes.
I think that's maybe one of the reasons why it just seemed I just couldn't relate to Central C at all. It was just completely off the charts in terms of what he was, the words he was using, and what he was. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Possibly, I'd say this felt a little bit more mainstream, a bit more kind of. You know, you could see people maybe other people liking this more than what they would with Central C, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's like a bit of a broader variety of people potentially like AJ Tracey, I feel. Okay, so first song was Plan B. So the first thing I noted down here was it's very clear to understand. Like the rapping was, I can understand all the words. Like I could hear all the words, I mean. Although I didn't understand what it was about. I could hear it word for word, but the general meaning I didn't quite get. It's all right. And I put here, it could be a respectable album based on this first track. Like, you know, it's respectable start.
Yeah. So I ended up taking for a lot of the songs, there was kind of we touched on there, that the rap music itself, the rap lyrics themselves, very clear on the main focus of the tracks. All background pretty much all these songs were pretty good across the board, but the main focus was out there, and that is sort of a common theme I had put throughout from this. And this felt to me like a real sort of traditional kind of back to what we probably think as rap music. I know we've had lots of different variations of rap, alternative rap and other bits in there, but this felt more sort of one thing in traditional, but very British sort of traditional rap from there. And so it had a good tempo. It wasn't like it was super fast or super unclear. It just had a good sort of very huge, bop your head to it a little bit from there. And as you said as well, yeah, it's almost like a good introduction style. And it felt like, okay, yes, that's what's going to be like this. Then it could be quite good if there was going to be variation, which we found out there was.
So the second one was Jackpot. I thought this one was a bit more rude boy sounding in terms of the kind of rap voice style of rapping. I felt it was a bit more unclear to listen to in terms of actually picking out all of the words. Again, didn't understand it. But what I liked about this is what I didn't mention in the introduction. The chorus was quite catchy with this one, and this was a kind of quite a theme for a number of these tracks. And you know me, I do like a catchy chorus, so it wasn't too bad. Didn't mind this one.
Yeah, we'll get to those. There are some of the songs which do have that sort of, what we would call like a song having a chorus. Because again, with rap music, it seems weird at times having a chorus, but for some of these songs, and like with Jackpot, it does work and actually makes the song a little bit better from there. And like you, this is when we talk about, there's a lot of stuff he's talking about, just have no idea. I mean, I feel like, and I've said it for some of the other songs, you almost need it almost needs like a translation for it to come up. Something so like he's talking about this Marley Rowe. What the hell is all that about? And it turned out he's an a producer from Philadelphia in America. And I said, I haven't done this for all these things, just these tiny little things that pick up. And I said, I feel like you need that. And they're referring to pain, saying pain quite a lot. But as a song, I actually quite liked it, even though I've had no idea really what was sort of going on. He's obviously talking about hitting the jackpot, and I think becoming famous and earning good money as well. That's what I sort of got from it from there. But like I said, as a song, really quite enjoyable to listen to. And I said there are quite some others like that as well.
Next one was Rena. I thought the background music was quite good. Almost like kind of underwater sounding background music. I thought the song flowed quite well. And again, the chorus was quite catchy. And yet again, it really wasn't bad, this one. Didn't mind it.
Yeah, this is like similar to the one before. Like I said, actually quite enjoyable to listen to. I was trying to work out because he says mentioned about a daughter, and then was also talking about a girlfriend. But I tried to look on Wikipedia. I could have done more research, to be honest, but I should make it clear when we do these album reviews, it really should be about the songs and the albums rather than going too much into depths of songs and artists. But I tried to see if I could find and I couldn't find anything if you had a daughter or a girlfriend, which is the song may have been about. But otherwise, like Jackpot, actually quite enjoyable to listen to, really.
And then we had Wifey Rhythm 3. Again, chorus is quite good. The rest of the song I've sort of described as faster rap. There were some good lines in this one. Didn't actually write any down, but there was some. Was kind of enjoying it a little bit more in terms of the actual the lines. And this song follows the same kind of level. You know, it hasn't really got any worse than the previous three. Well, the first three tracks hasn't got any. I don't know, just kind of pretty stable, not bad. And there was a nice little piano ending.
Yeah, I think you find love songs definitely feel sort of on par with one another. Something that sort of maybe really stands out or gets really bad, and that explains this one here as we've carried on from here. Funny enough, because I didn't put, when I was trying to get the lyrics, I didn't put the 3. So apparently there's a Wifey Rhythm part 1 or 1 as well. He must have a second one as well. And when I was looking through the lyrics, he does talk about Chelsea and King's Cross, which I know you probably would have missed out on that one there. But it was nice. He was talking quite a lot here about Essex and stuff. And again, I don't know if he's talking about a girlfriend or his wife that he potentially may have met from that part there. And I really enjoyed sort of the piano bits as well. As I say, just bring that little bit of variation in. But otherwise, I said it's just a really good on par song with the others.
And we had double C's. So like the chorus bit, there was like a kind of someone was like adding something at the end, like kicks, bitch. Had these kicks and bitch endings, which I kind of quite liked. I didn't think the chorus was as good with this one. And I think as a result, I put this one below average. Wasn't quite as keen on this one.
I think I like this one because I think he talks quite a little bit about being in Grove, obviously reference to Ladbroke Grove as well. And the real sort of interesting thing from it, again, don't want to go too much away because we really talk about the songs themselves, but it's quite interesting. So he talks about a line, he says, my head teacher hated me, fuck Mr. Hall, he's a prick. So a little bit of research. So Mr. Hall is actually an actual teacher of AJ Tracey, who, by the way, his real name is actually Shay someone or another, actually named after Che Guevara, which I thought was also quite interesting. But anyway, back to this. Yeah, he was the head teacher of Holland Park School they went to, and he was the headmaster there for 23 years. And it turns out after 23 years, he did have to stand down for creating a toxic working environment. Now, whether there, was more to it, it's just a news headline and maybe investigations found out it wasn't the case or whatnot. But and I said, this is why I say I got really invested with this, because it felt, maybe because I've also lived in London as well, I don't feel related to it a bit more, and it just was interesting to see reference put into a song and actually be able to find out more about it as well. So yeah, Colin Hall, he wasn't a big fan of. But I wonder who's having the last laugh now. But like I said, it is on par with the other ones. I couldn't remember if it was better or worse than the others, but I was more interested in the story behind it as well, really.
Okay, and we had Country Star. So I was liking the background sound at the start. When he says he's a country star, I'm taking it he means he's a star in the country, as in the UK or something. I don't know, because he's obviously not a country music star. It's a different style of music. But anyway, I quite like the kind of sort of the songy chorus and a nice sort of song to it. The rap was quite fast as well when it was in there. So I'd say this one was above average. This was one of the, decent one, this one.
Yeah, this was interesting because, I like you. I think you would have thought he's referring to him being a country star in the UK country. So, but when picking up some of the lyrics, he does talk about cowboys. He does do a lot of sort of American cowboy references in it. And I felt like the sound could have been, it wasn't quite American, but there was something strange. But maybe it's just a play on the words and, trying to get a different style into it there. So I felt I was having a bit of fun with that one as well. There's another song I think is quite similar to that. But again, like I said, it's all on par. Like I said, it's focused on the lyrics and then background music. And the other point I was going to make, I was either going to make it later on earlier, but this sort of grime type of music where it feels like, I love it. I think we're going to have it for the later songs where it's almost like saying a line, then you've got a random person saying one word at the end of each of those lines. Which
wasn't that the situation with the one where he's saying bitch and kicks?
Yeah, so a lot of the songs have that sort of thing. I just thought I haven't really touched on that there because it feels like that's a common thing that goes through where it says the last word and someone says either the same word or something relating to that as well. I just thought I'd throw that in there before I forgot.
Okay, then we had Psych Out. Glad there's a kind of songy part with someone else singing in the background. A bit of German as well thrown in there. Auf Wiedersehen. But it wasn't bad. Again, same kind of level, just kind of kept it up. It was all right.
Yeah, I quite like this one. I think this is one of those songs which we were talking about where it could have been more like a pop chart song, that more sort of having the chorus and feel a good production to it as well. And I found it quite similar to sort of Country Star. It was that same sort of kind of not a slow tempo, but it wasn't like a super fast one. And again, just actually quite nice to listen to. Like I said, if you didn't take on the lyrics too much, could just listen to it as a bit of a tune, really.
Mm-hmm. So next up we had Butterflies featuring, I think it's Not 3S. So finally I was able to actually write down a line that I like. It was because I would have written down a line for every song, but nothing really stood out most of the time. So the line I took was, I carve the pussy up like I'm cutting pumpkin. Pussy like the English Channel every time I jump in, splash. And it was quite a songy tune. It was just fairly solid. Again, keeping up that same sort of, level. So yeah, that was an all right one with a nice couple of nice lines in there as well.
So again, this, like the one before, so has this sort of kind of chill sort of vibe. This one, but I felt I could really imagine sort of being on the beach. Kind of had that sort of Caribbean beach sort of feel to it. And as I said here, this one could also be like an actual. I keep writing here pop song, but I mean like a chart song, sort of like a rap song, but in the charts. I just felt it was really well produced. A catchy chorus within as well. I put here, is there a second singer? But then obviously saw what I saw. It had a featured artist. Yeah, of course it is. But I said again, this is on par with this sort of the song before. Really enjoyable to listen to.
And we had Necklace featuring Jay Critch. So quite a slow start, this one. Not quite as keen on it. Sort of quite low key sounding. Below average for me for this one. And it sounded like an American voice, American rapper. So I'm guessing that Jay Critch is an American rapper, North American, just from the sound. But yeah, not as keen on this one.
Yeah, I sort of put it still kind of, I think the difference this one, I think now again, like the M word, the nigger word being said quite a lot now in the songs. Again, there's lots of reference to different words here, like again, a big body whip. Do you know what that big body whip could be? Could be, Lee?
No, you're going to tell
Just
me?
means someone. Yeah, I'll tell you if you want. Yeah, it's just yeah, someone who could be very fit or very muscular.
Right.
And another one, like glock. You know what glock could be? GLOCK.
Sounds like a German word, doesn't it? Glurk or something. Glock. I don't know. The Glock.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it could be okay. So it's meant to be referenced another short term for saying for like a gun, or for what's now got a term for like a weapon. But I think because there was a make, it could be a German make who made guns. I don't know what the actual make was, but shorthand with Glock and yeah, sort of kind of weapons. So again, it's all this sort of stuff that sort of got me into it to look to see okay what all these kind of sort of words and stuff sort of mean from there really. And I think he was talking about being around. Yeah, I live in Chelsea. I go with the white folk. And it was talking about a lot of stuff like sort of that really. So yeah, like I said, it wasn't that's why I found myself more looking and probably seeing what some of these words would be really.
Yeah, I remember that line. Yeah. Okay, so the next one was Prada Me. Again, I've got a line from here that I liked. Not as crude as the last one. I just pulled up in a Lambo. Your man, he drives a Megane. As in presumably a Renault Megane. It's okay, perhaps, but I just thought perhaps it's a little bit boring. It was a little bit kind of one level, not much of a background sound going on. So not one of the better ones for me, but it had a good line in it.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of some of the early ones here. So it's got that sort of bit of a slower vibe kind of thing, and less of that sort of pop charty kind of hit from there. Again, he's talking about how the teachers hated him, but now his crib has a pool. So again, who has sort of the last laugh with that one there. Now his mother's really proud of him. And another new word that I've learned here, skang, SKANG. Do you know what that could be?
No.
Skang. It's a knife. So walking around the streets of the Grove, Lambeth Grove, with a skang with a knife. I mean, it could also be referenced to other forms of weapon, but it's meant to be technically, more specifically, a knife. So there you go.
Okay.
That's gang crime down.
Right. I was quite looking forward to the next one because it was named Ladbroke Grove, which is where he's from in London. So sort of like a dance song start. And this one was sort of is off. It just really kind of took off from the word go. Couldn't quite work out why it's called Ladbroke Grove in terms of like the actual lyrics. I quite like the dance part mixed in with the rap, and I just thought the whole thing worked quite well. It's a very upbeat, lively track. As I said, the only criticism, kind of, is that I just didn't really get the link with Ladbroke Grove. I thought it was all going to be about Ladbroke Grove, but maybe it was. So I just didn't understand it. I don't know.
Yeah. This for me is probably, even though it didn't talk a lot about Ladbroke Grove, which I know you probably were obviously looking forward to from there. This is probably my favourite song potentially from the album. I know them before, they're all sort of on par, and really they are, but this maybe just be at the top of that sort of thing there. Just purely because this one really felt sort of like proper like 90s garage music. So it felt a little bit nostalgic in that regard. I'd say it was quite up tempo. I said a bit like dancey. Just felt like I could really listen again, even though I didn't understand half of what was being said and trying to pick things up. But no, it felt good. And the sort of thing I took here is, he talks about I'm just a block boy in a Rover. Now it's funny because whenever I hear Rover, I generally think of probably the old like. What you saw, my grandpa probably used to drive like an old Rover type of car. Well, obviously, referring to like a Land Rover. I think it's probably. I think it's probably more. Yeah, we're totally different. I mean, I could be wrong. He could have been referring to that. I don't know. It's just weird when he's talking about when people talk about in rap songs, Porsches and Lambo really, and suddenly he's talking about Rover. Rover, why? Why is he talking about a Rover in that sense? And now I probably realised, and because it did get buy out by Ford, who made then Land Rovers, but he's probably referring to, there's probably the term to now, he probably didn't even know Rover even existed as like a different car. Rover to him is a Land Rover, which makes more sense. So that's why I ended up taking more from there. I did thought I'd find out what Block Boy, that was it. Yeah, so a Block Boy is someone who just mainly walks on the streets. So someone who just hasn't got, I think someone who doesn't have a car. Just
okay. Takes the bus.
Takes the bus potentially. Just has to walk because he hasn't got a Rover.
Right. Okay, that answered. Okay, fine. Next one then was Doing It. This one was quite fast and kind of head boppy. I like the "I'm doing it" parts in the chorus, which I think, which is maybe what you were mentioning earlier, when there's a line said and then the other person will answer it by saying, "I'm doing it. I'm doing it." I quite like that touch. Not bad.
This is on it, but I said it happens in a lot of other songs. But this one's a real sort of standout where you have someone's talking and then someone's all answering it from there. And it felt catchy. I did also put here if this one feels a bit darker as well. Not by much really. Again, probably don't know a lot of what's sort of been said from there really, and that's what I really got to say on that one. So like even though it felt darker and not as good as others, it was still a listenable song. Like pretty much with all the songs on the album, very listenable song.
So then we had Nothing But Net featuring Gigs. I thought this one was a bit boring. It was all one level. I thought the background sound was quite bland. Some parts of it were all right. I describe it more as a kind of speaky track rather than songy. But maybe just about average, I guess.
I quite liked it. It was more sort of speaking that, and even when the featured artist, it's not Ryan Giggs, but it's someone called Giggs or Giggsy.
Is it what's he called? Rodri Giggs? Is it Ryan Giggs' brother? They had a. Didn't Ryan Giggs cheat? He cheated on his brother, on his brother's
wife.
Wife.
It could be. I don't think that. Back to him there, but I thought actually he almost sounded quite robotic and bit sort of almost like stopped after each sort of word, but it kind of worked in some way. I quite liked him in that one there. And then there's bits with sort of football references. So I think the line here from I'll run Man City. I'll run Man City like company. But I think he's obviously trying to say I'll run Man City, as in a city by man, and just playing with company really. So it was nice to being a football fan like he is to see some of these sort of references come in really.
I didn't actually catch that. I didn't catch that one when I was going through it. Okay, next one was Horror Flick, Fast from the Off, and this one had a very clear theme. It was spooky. It was Halloween. But saying that, I didn't actually like this one very much. I thought it was below average. I don't know. It was very fast and quite active, but just didn't sound-wise didn't quite do it for me.
Like I normally say on an album review, there's always sort of what I would maybe call the more experimental song. This potentially could be it. It felt a bit of fun for this one, really. I said it had a sort of video game sound to it. The fact he's talking about Halloween, unusual in itself, really. And I think there was a lot of lyrics that were quite sort of, I wouldn't say funny, but just I didn't really put much there. And then you had the sort of the howl bits. So again, we were going to do the line and someone says something afterwards. It was doing a howl, like a wolf and stuff. So I thought this one was just a sort of a bit of fun, really. Was it as good as the others? Probably not, but it kind of still works on the album and was something at least a little bit different, really.
Okay, and we'll finish off with Triple S. I took a nice line from this one. I just want to know why England's so shit. I'm hearing you, mate. I'm hearing you. And then another line I took was, this won't make sense for the viewers out there, but I'll explain it. Brett will understand what I mean. We was in the trap with the white lads. Then what? So the trap we used to refer to as the toilet when we were studying at college. So the way for me it was like we were in the toilet with the white lads. Then what? What happened after that? But as for the song itself, it was pretty average. And as for what he means, this meaning of trap, I don't know.
No.
I'm guessing it's not. I'm guessing it's not toilet.
It'd be really funny and interesting if it was actually. I'm sure more research in that. Yeah, I kind of go back before those lyrics there. I thought probably wasn't the best ending for the album.
No,
it was sort of fast. I don't know why, because again, it felt on par with some of the others, but maybe because maybe this is one of my least favorite songs on the album. Potentially, I don't know. It felt like because it was a very fast. It felt quite an angry rap song in a way, but that was just me personally. Yeah, I wrote the line, I just want to know why England is so shit, and put a question to Lee for that one there. Lee would get that one there. And he also talks about Peter Crouch as well.
Does he?
Tall but techie, like Crouch. Like Crouch, yeah. I thought that was in that one there. And then he talks about sort of firecracker chicken, but not katsu. As in, he does say not katsu, but as in, and so I said, I don't know why some, but just it felt a bit of for me personally, a bit of a downer to the album, really.
Okay, well, Brett, how would you sum that up? It sounds like, from what you were saying in the introduction, you kind of quite like this one to some extent.
Yes, I think for this genre that we've done very little on already, it's my favourite so far. I probably the same as you feel like, would I go away and listen to this again or enjoy again listening? Probably not, but I can see why people probably would like it. And even though I wouldn't want to go listen to it, if I had to, I could quite easily. It wouldn't be punishment in some regards. And like I said, we can only really sort of at the moment sort of really be comparing to like Central C, unfortunately. But for me, I'm definitely more of an AJ Tracey fan than a Central C one. And I would be intrigued maybe to see what some of these other albums are potentially like. So, as I said, good album in terms of variation, very listenable. It was clear. It was, main focus on the lyrics and the rapping bits. Good background music for some of those. Like I said, just gelled quite well. So overall, yeah, it was good really for me, but not enough that I would buy it or really go back and sort of listen to it again. But it wouldn't be the worst for hat if someone said you've got to listen to it again. Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, so I'd go along with pretty much what you say there. It was certainly very listenable, and yeah, probably wouldn't choose to listen to it again, but at the same time, I could have, if I had to listen to it, then fine. Again, like I said, a bit disappointed with some of the lyrics. Wasn't quite as, I don't know, would have liked a few more kind of, maybe some lyrics related to, I don't know, more stuff that I'm familiar with, London stuff. And there were some football ones maybe that I missed, that I didn't quite catch. But as I said, sound-wise, it was actually more than listenable. Didn't mind it. So, yeah, I think it's probably an upgrade from Central C for us personally. So thanks for your request. And yeah, keep them coming. Let us know if there's any albums that you'd like us to review. So guys, thank you for watching and see you for the next one. Goodbye.